right, it's another beautiful Tuesday morning. Today, the 11th day of August 2026. You're on Wells Radio 89.3 FM, your preferred awesome radio. And it is time for another interesting edition of Perspective Unlimited. My name is Kunle Olowu, and I don't do this alone. I have my analyst here with me in the studio. That is Chukwu Emeka Munachiso, as usual. Good morning, Chukwu Emeka.
Good morning, Kunle.
Yes, it's nice to have you here again this morning.
Thank you for bringing me in.
Yes, I know we are going to have some very good conversations this morning. Okay, so as usual, we are going to be looking at three newspapers this morning. Here in front of me, I have the Punch newspaper. I also have The Guardian, and the third paper is the Nigerian Tribune. And we'll be looking at the headlines on these three papers. And, of course, right after that, we will delve into a basic analysis of these headlines. Now, we will start with the front page of the Nigerian Tribune this morning, where the largest caption on the Nigerian Tribune reads, NLC women demand free, peaceful polls in Osun State. Of course, that story has about 3 or 4 rider stories. The first one being Adegoke's wife leads women warns against indiscriminate arrest harassment. And NLC advises against intimidation of workers, pensioners. And NSCDC deploys 10,210 personnel, tactical units. And another rider story to that one, IPA cautions against manipulation of election. And Atiku Mark Aregbesola rallies votes for ADC candidates. All the stories you can find on pages 15 and 16 of the Nigerian Tribune this morning. Another story here on page 29, troops rescue 33 kidnapped passengers in Zamfara. The rider stories to that, foil ISWAP attack on military base in Borno. And still on the front page of the Nigerian Tribune, experts flag debt servicing crisis as Nigerian cripples with 159.35 trillion naira bill. And the rider stories to that says citizens may pay for it through additional taxes. That story is on page 7. And on page 16, G100 begins consultations, meets Atiku, Obi, others. And the rider stories to that fixes unitary summit for next week. That story, like I said, is on page 16 of the Nigerian Tribune this morning. Moving on to other stories now. I won't be a godfather to my successor. This is according to Makinde. And if you want more on that story, it's on page 15 of the Nigerian Tribune this morning. And on page 3, Customs dismantle 3.24 billion naira smuggling ring in the southwest. And on page 3 again, Lassa fever cases hit 1,000, death toll rises to 237. This is according to the NCDC. And still talking about some health now, climate change withdraws Africa's malaria map. East Africa hardest hit. That story is on page 23 of the paper this morning. Rising litigation costs raises concern over access to justice in election-related dispute. And the rider stories to that, San human rights lawyer insists justice must not become preserved on the rich. That story is on page 8. And apprehension over looming food crisis. That story is on page 3. And that's the final story we are going to be looking at the Nigerian Tribune this morning. Now moving swiftly to the front page of The Guardian newspaper this morning. The largest caption on The Guardian this morning, opposition kicks as state hikes permits, tightens campaign role. That story is on page 6 of The Guardian this morning. Moving on to other stories. On the 2027 election, Atiku, Obi, Makinde, others may forge alliance against Tinubu. That story is on page 3. And still on page 3, 90 civil society groups urge National Assembly to withdraw foreign aid bill. And still on page 3, NERC takes over Kaduna Discos, over 456.5 billion naira debt. Like I said, that story is on page 3. And on page 8, on Osun State, report reveals 29 deaths from 73 incidents ahead of polls. And on page 6, EU clarifies 2027 election role as misreport. Reaction exposes concern. And that story is on page 6 of the Guardian newspaper this morning. We also have Imo Nasarawa Varsity lecturers embark on indefinite strike over unpaid entitlements. That story is on page 8. And if you go to page 22, you'll find the story on recapitalization, where the FG wades into dispute, suspends NICOM's 680 million naira fee. Those are the stories you can find on the front page of the Guardian newspaper this morning. And finally, on the front page of the Punch newspaper this morning, the largest caption on that one: sensitive materials arrive Oshogbo, 30,000 core members mobilized. The rider stories to that: soldiers guard Osun INEC office as 25,310 security personnel deployed for polls. Adegoke's wives lead protest against alleged arrests and violence. And the final rider story to that: CSOs others raise fears over INEC's new result system. All of those stories you can find on pages 2 and 8 of the Punch newspaper this morning. Moving on to other stories now on page 19. 7 states FCT borrow 355 billion naira in 3 months. And still on the front page of the Punch, on recapitalization, FG orders NICOM to stop dispute fees. That story is on page 20. And on page 7, visa processing shift won't affect Abuja embassy operations. This is according to the U.S. And Atiku Aregbesola, woo Osun voters, says ADC will restore Awolowo's legacy. That story is on page 8 of the Punch newspaper this morning. And on the 2027 polls, opposition parties begin talks on single candidates. That story is on page 9. And Oyo pastor arrested for allegedly defrauding 18 members. That story is on page 5. And finally, on page 20, Dangote NUPRC defer over 2-quarter crude supply. Those are the stories you can find on the front page of the Punch newspaper this morning. All right, now delving into the reports as seen on the front pages of our papers this morning. The first one as seen on Punch newspaper, as we see that 7 states and the Federal Capital Territory borrow over 355 billion naira in 3 months. Now the reports, according to the Punch newspaper, 7 state governments increased their domestic debt stock by a combined 355.18 billion naira in the first quarter of 2026, despite repeated claims by some governors that they had not contracted fresh loans to meet the financial needs of the administrations. The increase, however, was actually seen in only 7 sub-national governments, while 29 recorded reductions in their domestic debt stock between December 31st, 2025 and March 31st, 2026, according to data obtained by the Debt Management Office and analyzed by Punch yesterday. Further findings show that the total debt stock of the 7 states during the period under review was 977.15 billion naira. The DMO data showed that domestic debt stock of the 36 states and the Federal Capital Territory rose from 4.36 trillion naira at the end of December 2025 to 4.52 trillion naira as at March 31st, 2026. That represents a net increase of about 163.25 billion naira, or 3.74% within 3 months. But the gross increase recorded by the 7 states whose debt stock went up was much higher at 355.18 billion. The 7 governments that recorded the increase were the Federal Capital Territory, Edo, Borno, Yobe, Benue, Kaduna, and Nasarawa. Now, let us look at this story. We know that there has been issues concerning the borrowing culture in Nigeria. The federal government is not also exonerated from this. We know that the borrowing has been going up, and people have been complaining that we are supposed to be in the plenty season now, and yet the federal government is still borrowing. Now, this the federal government has actually reacted. That's the plenty that we are enjoying now, that it is being trickled down even to the states, because the states now are receiving over triple of what they used to collect before the removal of subsidy and the rest of the financial interventions, if I may say, that the federal government has said. But now we are seeing that particularly 7 states has actually increased their borrowing even within 3 months. And that would make people want to ask, is the money that the federal government is giving them still not enough? Or is there a lot of infrastructural development going on in these states that they need more money, they need to borrow more for them to be able to achieve?
There's something I want to correct here. You said we are the money borrow. We are living in plenty now. We are not living in plenty. The governors and the federal government are living in plenty, not we, the people of Nigeria. So I want to correct that thing. The issue is this, Kunle. There is nothing wrong in borrowing if you are borrowing for production. But there is everything wrong with borrowing if you are borrowing for consumption. And that is where there is a problem in our country. In a country where there is little or no accountability, you don't expect leaders to be financially responsible. You don't. Because human beings...
Because nobody would ask?
No, because nobody is asking question. If they know that, look, this money belongs to the people, and I'm going to tell them how I spent this money, there will be financial responsibility. But as far as nobody is checking them, nobody is looking over the shoulder, nobody is asking them, come and tell us how you spent our money, there is no way this reckless borrowing will stop. It won't. So the federal government sets the pace and the states are following. The federal government came up sometime to tell Nigerians that the governors are receiving triple what they have been receiving. Even Sanwo-Olu of Lagos said it, and so many governors have said such a thing. But where is the evidence of that humongous borrowing going on across the federation? Where is it? Because, Kunle, you mentioned critical infrastructure. This is euphemism for corruption. Because as far as I'm concerned, critical infrastructure is the people. It is all about the people. If the people...
All about the people.
Yes. That's a first critical infrastructure. Are Nigerians living better lives today than they were living before? No. Poverty is on the increase. Frustration is on the rise. Depression is taking its toll across board. And that's why Nigerians are jumping into lagoon. That's why people are killing themselves. That's why there is drug abuse all over the place. Because a lot of people don't have that mechanism to hold on, to endure for a very long time. So they will look for something to escape from reality. And that is why there is drug abuse all over the place. So what are they borrowing for? The federal government asking the state governors, asking them questions about borrowing. The federal government is still on the jamboree. We were told before the removal of fuel subsidy that if we remove fuel subsidy, we will have enough to develop the country. Now we have removed fuel subsidy and we are even borrowing more than when we were having subsidy. So where is the proceeds of the subsidy we removed? Kule, that is, and I am not carried away by all this news, all these reports you just made, because I know for sure that Nigeria and Nigerians will not get it right unless Nigerians themselves wake up from their deep stupidity and understand that this country belongs to them and begin to ask questions. Leaders will continue to take them for a ride. Leaders will continue to will continue to walk on our minds with their dirty feet, using ethnicity and religion to make sure that people do not ask the right question from their leaders. If they put you in a place where you know that people will definitely ask you how we spend the last kobo, you'll be very careful. But nobody asks that question in Nigeria. When you wake up to ask them, because it's not from their religion, because it's not from their tribe. And some people will come out from the social media and be defending the indefensible. And be telling you, it's because it's not their time. That's why they're asking questions. And by so doing, you are swimming in poverty, deprivation, hunger, and whatever that has to do with your suffering. You understand? So I am not, unless we, the people of this country, begin to, and I don't see it coming. I don't. That's the tragedy.
Okay, so let us look at this report critically. The 7 states that are being mentioned here that have borrowed this amount in the last 3 months, they are actually the Federal Capital Territory, that is Abuja, Edo, Borno State, Yobe, Benue, Kaduna, and Nasarawa. Now, these states, apart from the Federal Capital Territory, where we know that is where the power sits, these other states, do you think there might be some sort of justification for their borrowing, considering that they might not be as buoyant as other states? So let us even say they are receiving triple of what they used to collect. It still might not be enough for them to absolutely develop the states.
I'm coming to Kule.
Yes.
That brings us, one thing I like about life is that there are certain things that are set down. You can't run away from them. You may deny their existence, but it will still catch up with you. You mentioned these 7 states. Let's remove federal capital. You don't create states, Kunle, because of landmass. You create states that are viable. And that brings us back to restructuring, which we will never run away from. We will never. If this country is restructured based on the viability of states, Kunle, we will not be having what we are having. And if we are running through federal system of government, not unitary, feeding bottle federalism that we are running, the center feeding the federating units, we will not have this problem. You know why? Because each state will have its own options. Each state will maintain its own state based on what that state is getting from their state. It will not wait for the center to feed them, to spoon feed them before they be able to carry out anything. But because we created states for political domination, not for their viability, that's why we are having this problem. That's why the center will always be feeding the states in order to maintain that control. And it is not healthy for our development. If the states are viable, and if the states are created for their viability, Kule won't have this. But they are not created for their viability, they are created for their landmass. There are some states in Nigeria, they are very small in terms of landmass, but go and check what they are getting from that state. You discover that they have enough. They have enough. You understand? So because they know what they are doing, the governors there and they created an enabling environment for the states to thrive. So they are making money, and they are very small in terms of land mass. But there are some states that have a lot of land mass, and yet they are not making anything. Why? Because they were not created for viability. They were created for political domination. So that you say, oh, this area has 2 states. This one has 7 states. We are more populous. No, you don't create states that way. Kule, that is why I keep saying that Nigeria, unless we get visionary leaders, not this crop of leaders we have all over the place, visionary leaders who will take. Kule, I was politically conscious when we were operating in regions. Go and check the success Nigeria made when the government was regionalized. Because every region, we know that you're on your own. You contribute to the center. You make money. It was agriculture that they thrived on agriculture, not even oil. But today we have a lot of things that will give us money, and yet we are still borrowing like drunken. We spend money like drunken soldiers, drunken sailors, and yet there is no accountability. Without accountability, there will be no good governance.
Okay,
so
let us look at this. Let us look at all of these 7 states again. Maybe they have some sort of similarities. And do you think there might actually be a legitimate reason for some states to borrow heavily, especially states that are facing security challenges and all these issues?
If you are
do you think there might be any reason?
What is the reason for security challenges? We are looking at security as if some people just wake up and begin to run riot. Security challenges we are having is as a result of bad governance. Yes. Where you have bad governance, Kunle, you won't have it easy. You won't. Because where there is bad governance, and bad governance is euphemism for corruption.
So that being said, that bad corruption is the reason for this. So a lot of Nigerians will say that it is what it is already. There is already bad governance, and it has resulted into security issues. Now, these states are borrowing because they are trying to fight the security issue that is already on ground, which is not supposed to be, but already it is. So what we are doing now is looking for the way forward. So can this be a justifiable reason for them to be borrowing?
Kule, there is no, I told you something when we are starting this conversation, that if you borrow for production, there's nothing wrong with it. If you borrow for consumption, there is everything wrong with it. What are they borrowing for? Are they borrowing to show up the revenue of the state? Are they borrowing to repair cemeteries, which some are doing? In this, we have heard of governors taking money to go and renovate cemeteries. Will cemetery usher in security in a state? We have heard of governors taking money to go and renovate government houses, which they are not living in. That is profligacy, Kule, as far as I'm concerned.
So you can't borrow for such?
You can't borrow for such. That is wastages. But if you are borrowing to build hospitals, that is justifiable. If you are borrowing to build roads in order to enhance commerce in your state, it is good. But if you are borrowing to sponsor people on pilgrimage, that is wastage. Go and check what most of them are borrowing for. Are they borrowing to repair schools where our children will go to school and learn? Are they borrowing to build hospitals? Go and check what they are borrowing for. Are they borrowing for things that will add value to the citizens of their state? That's the question. That's why I said, if you borrow for production, it is good to borrow. Every businessman must borrow. Yes, if you see a businessman who has never borrowed, he's not in business. He's a failure. Because other people's money help business people to thrive. That's borrowing. You understand? You borrow one time at the other. But what are you borrowing for? To cook soup? Are you borrowing to do wedding? What is wedding an investment? Are you borrowing to throw a party? Is it an investment? You borrow for something that will bring in money. Because when what you are borrowed for brings in more money than what you borrowed, you are a businessman.
That's called business.
Yes, I am a business person. I love business. Because if I want to borrow and I know that what I want to borrow will not bring me enough from what I'm borrowing, I will not borrow. You borrow to maximize profit. Not borrowing because you want to buy a shwebi and throw a party and go to cemetery and be renovating. What is it for? Because why they are doing that? Because Nigerians don't ask questions, and we continue to be in a mess. As far as we see our leaders, we see politicians as our leaders, not even our servants. Go to civilized countries. The politician, Kunle, there's one quotation I love so much from George Orwell, the man that wrote Animal Farm. He said a society where government is afraid of the people, that society will develop very well. But a society where the people are afraid of the government, that society will die in poverty. And that is exactly the picture of our country.
Okay, that is very well said now, and I don't want us to really dwell on that. We will soon be going on a commercial break, but before then, I want us to quickly get to our neighbors, that is Osun State, as they'll be having their elections in a few days. And we have reports here from Punch saying that the sensitive materials have arrived at Osogbo as 30,000 core members are mobilized for the exercise. Now, according to the reports seen here on Punch newspaper, sensitive election materials have arrived in Osogbo ahead of Saturday's Osun State governorship election, as the Independent National Electoral Commission said it would draw ad hoc personnel from a pool of more than 30,000 members of the National Youth Service Corps. The development came as security agencies stepped up preparations for the poll, with no fewer than 25,310 personnel from the Nigerian Police Force, Nigerian Security and Defense Corps, the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission deployed across the state. The Chief Press Secretary to INEC, Chairman Adedayo Oketola, disclosed the Commission's planned deployment of NYC members in a conversation with the Punch newspaper, as a matter of fact, yesterday, while giving an update on preparations for the August 15 election. Oketola, however, said he could not provide the exact number of ad hoc personnel to be engaged, adding that the Commission would draw from a pool of more than 30,000 NYC members, like I earlier said. Now, Osun State would be going to the polls to elect their new governor. We've heard a lot of issues, fighting here and there, INEC, EFCC freezing and unfreezing accounts, the secretary to the state government being arrested with, we've heard a whole lot about this. And INEC, for the second time this year now, are going to be put to the test of whether they are able to, to conduct a credible election in Nigeria, as seen first, and then as we are going to be seeing in Osun State now. What are your thoughts about this election coming up?
It is not INEC only that will be put to test. The federal government itself is on trial. You know what I'm saying? Now, if you check what is going on in Osun State right now, you know that our politicians have not learned a lesson. We are not playing politics. We are just buying and selling, trading on people's conscience. The secretary to the state governor, to the government of Osun State, Teslim Igbalaye, was arrested over something they say voter cash something, and at the end of the day, it was released. A sitting commissioner was also arrested, detained, and later released without charge. Why are we, throwing matches into a situation that is already combustible? I am very, very worried about what is going on in Osun State, because Osun State has a history of political killings. Whenever there is election, they go into convulsion. They unleash terror, and these are people who want to be, who want to lead people, and you want to kill the very people that you want to lead. That is the height of primitivity in acquisition of power. Kunle, the federal government is on trial. Let's see how many police officers are there right now. The core members are there right now. The people are coming, arrest here and there, killings here and there. Let's watch and see whether these things will produce. I told you something. One of the reasons for backwardness in Africa is lack of transparency in election. Let's go on break.
All right, so we are going to go on a quick commercial break now. When we come back on the second half of Perspective Unlimited, we will be talking about other issues as seen on the papers this morning. Until when we come back on the second half, do stay tuned to Wells Radio 89.3 FM, and Perspective Unlimited is the program. Do stay tuned.
FM, your preferred wholesome radio. thinking of an all-in-one digital platform that fits your lifestyle and makes everyday payments simple, reliable, and fast?
Oh, wow. Yes, please.
Allow me introduce you to BillStation, your one-stop digital payment solution for individuals and businesses. Built to simplify payments and services for millions across Africa. With BillStation, you can buy cheap airtime and data, pay electricity bills, send money instantly, make online payments, and book flights and hotels. Enjoy our overseas airport pickup services, interstate bus ticket sales, and event tickets. All on BillStation. Fast, simple, reliable.
Wow, that's amazing.
Visit www.thebillstation.com. Download the BillStation app on the Apple App Store or Android Google Play and get welcome bonuses when you sign up. Enjoy fast customer support and a seamless user experience every time. Get in touch with us today.
Email thebillstation175@gmail.com or sales@thebillstation.com.
WhatsApp 091 6858 1914. Bill Station. Your world, your money, one station.
Are you hungry for something delicious? Food that feels like home but tastes like pure luxury? Then welcome to Honeydew Restaurant, where every meal is made to make you smile. From our smoky jollof to rich ofada sauce to a variety of delicious soups like egusi, eforiro, and more, paired with your favorite proteins and hot, freshly made swallows, all made for you to enjoy. We also handle bulk orders in liters, fresh and ready whenever you need it. We deliver it to your doorstep. At Honeydew, it's not just the food, it's the feel. With our beautiful ambience, perfect for your romantic dates, family outings, or your quiet, relaxing evening escape. Join us every last Friday of the month at 7 p.m. for karaoke night with Oyeolorun and enjoy music, games, food, drinks, and free mocktails and cocktails as you sing your hearts out. Visit us at Plot 42, Block 8, Alaafin Avenue, beside Wells Radio, Oluyole Estate, Ibadan. For your doorstep delivery or inquiries, call or WhatsApp 0814-691-6635, 0814-691-6635. Honeydew Restaurant, where every meal is made to make you smile.
How long will it take you to confirm payment? I have been waiting for the past 1 hour.
I'm so sorry. Our network is slow. I will just run out of data.
Same excuse yesterday. It is unacceptable, please. You better switch to One Data Internet Service.
One Data?
Yes, One Data. One Data is an internet service provider with the best alternative and solution for unlimited speed. One Data provides fast and reliable internet service to organizations, homes, and places of interest in Nigeria. With One Data, you get to enjoy the premium internet service with dedicated unlimited internet speed at all times, 24/7 fantastic customer service and support, and you enjoy a 1-month free subscription when you make payment. Now is the time to say goodbye to downtimes. Sign up with One Data today on 0811-223-2671 or visit www.onedata.ng for more inquiries. One Data, unlimited speed.
Hello, Miss Flora. Finally, this holiday is here. But honestly, I don't know what to do with my children.
Why? Aren't you excited that you're on break?
Excited? One talks from morning till evening without control, and the other one can barely introduce himself. I'm worried about both of them.
Now you see the work that we teachers put in. But then, I have a perfect solution for you. Why not enroll them into the Wells Radio Media Academy Summer School 2026?
Media Academy? For children?
Absolutely. They'll learn public speaking, broadcasting, confidence, communication, and so much more. Matter of fact, I'm enrolling too. I want to sharpen my public speaking skills before the new school term.
Really? Then we are definitely coming.
This holiday, turn potential into purpose at Wells Radio Media Academy Summer School 2026 from 12th August to 18th September. Enjoy 6 weeks of practical media training, studio sessions, and mentorship from experienced trainers. Open to senior secondary school students, teachers, parents, and busy professionals. So whether you're building confidence, improving communication, or turning your voice into a career, this is your opportunity. For further inquiries or to register, call or WhatsApp 0814-694-6928, 0814-694-6928. Don't let the holiday go to waste. Enroll today at the Wales Radio Media Academy Summer School 2026.
89.3 FM, your preferred wholesome radio.
All right, you all welcome back to the second half of Perspective Unlimited on Wells Radio 89.3 FM, your preferred awesome radio. I am Kunle Olowu, and in the studio with me I have Chukwu Emeka Mona Chiso, who is our analyst for this morning. Before we went on that quick commercial break, we have been talking about different things. We started with the borrowing spree from 7 different states in Nigeria, and the amounts they have borrowed in 3 months. And from there, we talked about the Osun State election that will be coming soon on the 15th of this month. That was what we're talking about before we went on the commercial break. But there are a lot of talking points, and I would not want us to dwell on just those 2 stories because we have so many talking points this morning. And I would also like to invite those at home to be a part of the show. You can call into the studio to give your 2 cents on the issues we are discussing this morning. To call into the studio, you can call this numbers 091-6893-1000. I'll take that number again, 091-6893-1000. Another number is 0915-333-4893, 0915-333-4893. The third number you can call is 0911-3333-893, 0911-3333-893. You can call into the studio to be a part of the show this morning. So now, Chukwu Emeka, still talking about elections in Nigeria. Like I said, we ended on the note of Osun State before we went on that commercial break. And it doesn't stop at that, because here on the front page of Guardian newspaper, we have a report about the 2027 election, and this has to do with Atiku Obi and our own Seyi Makinde of Oyo State and others, with the possibility of them forging an alliance against the current president, Bola Tinubu. The report, as seen on Guardian, the presidential candidates and opposition leaders, including Atiku Abubakar, Peter Obi, Seyi Makinde, Donald Duke, Adebayo Adewale, Ebenezer, and Sunday Honor, have commenced fresh consultations aimed at forging a common political front to challenge the President Bola Tinubu-led All Progressive Congress (APC) in the 2027 general election. These consultations, facilitated by the G100, followed its August 2nd, 2026 open letter to opposition leaders of through the civil society organizations and Nigerians of good conscience, in which it unveiled what it called the doctrine of necessary democratic opposition, The doctrine advocates a credible and competitive opposition capable of providing Nigerians with a viable alternative to the ruling party. Now, the G100, led by one of the governors, the contestants, disclosed in a statement yesterday that it had since engaged the leadership of the 6 opposition parties, including presidential candidates, running mates, and national chairman, as part of efforts to build consensus ahead of the election. The parties are the African Democratic Congress, that's the ADC, Allied People's Movements, APM, Nigerian Democratic Congress, NDC, People's Democratic Party, PDP, People's Redemption Party, PRP, and the Social Democratic Party, that's the SDP. The initiative is coming amid concerns that multiple opposition candidates could split votes and invariably strengthen the APC's chance in 2027. Before I ask you my questions on this, let us quickly take this call. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, sir.
What is your name? Where are you calling us from?
Ruth calling from Alakia.
Ruth from Alakia, you have the floor.
Yes, sir. No, Nigeria is tired of our cheap rising cost of foodstuffs, insecurity, and the struggles facing ordinary citizens under this administration. So the time has come for opposition leaders to put personal interests aside, unite, and offer Nigeria a credible alternative. Because we continue to go like this, 2027 must be about rescuing Nigeria and restoring hope. And on the Osun coming election, I just hope INEC will be neutral, transparent, and proactive, while security operatives protect voters, prevent violence, and ensure a peaceful protest. Because what we want is everyone should vote and democracy should win. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. A peaceful election, I believe she wanted to say there. Let's quickly take this call as well. Hello, good morning. What is your name? Where are you calling us from?
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
This is Adegoke.
This is who now?
Adegoke.
Okay, Adegoke, you have the floor.
Yeah, concerning borrowing are meaningful when it is being used judiciously. But in a situation whereby the money are being borrowed for consumption, not for for spending, not for consumption, so it's not a good point. So as I would just urge that the states that are borrowing, they should make it used for what they want to use it for, not just that they will be using it for their own gain or for their own selfish interest. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for your contribution. Now, talking about the proposed coalition between these opposition parties, we know that sometime this year, such meeting was actually convened here in Oyo State, where Peter Obi, Atiku Abubakar and the likes were all in Ibadan at the State House, talking about bringing forward one candidates, united candidates by all of these opposition parties to contest against the present administration. And we know that just few weeks after that, Peter Obi and Atiku were in the same political party as at that period. And about a week or 2 weeks after that meeting, we heard that Peter Obi had left that party where he was with Atiku Abubakar to another party because it seemed like they could not agree on who they want to bring in as their flag bearer as at that time. Now everybody has, all primaries has been done. All the flag bearers know their names and the logos they carry. And now we are hearing again that they want to have another coalition to have a united candidates. How significant is this fresh consultation among opposition leaders ahead of this election? In your own opinion, what do you think?
In politics, there is always alignment and realignment. There will always be people meeting together to to do something with one accord in order to get into power. My main concern is not getting power for the sake of power. What are they going to do with power? Our politicians are not people who understand what to do with power. They go for power for the sake of power. My brother, I'm standing for anything that will make Nigeria a country where everybody will be happy. If it is coalition or not coalition that will bring it about, so be it. But as far as I'm concerned, Nigeria is a beautiful piece of work. But look at what the nonsense we have made of this country because of bad leadership. We have everything. Is it? There's no national disaster here, natural disaster. What we have here is human disaster. Bringing people, taking people to the corridors of power, people who have nothing, people who are just greedy to get power. And they don't know what to do with it when they get there. Look at how look at the situation of our country today. And we all believed that, look, this country will work. Is Nigeria working? Nigeria is not working.
But let me quickly ask.
I'm coming.
Yeah.
When it comes to alignment and realignment, if any realignment that is just to massage the ego of those who want to be in power, I don't support it. But if you are coming together to create an environment where Nigerians will say, oh, because do you know, Kule, the way it is right now, most Nigerians, I don't know whether, if the rate of depression in our country is too high. Depression, many people are depressed. And that's why I keep telling people, don't ever provoke anybody. Yes, don't.
Because you don't know what that person is going through.
Don't engage in anybody in any argument, unnecessary argument. Just leave him. Because what the person is carrying is so much. And yet, you read about borrowing. You read about, if we have visionary leadership, Kule, we will not be where we are today. If our leaders are in power for the sake of the people, we won't be where we are today. But look at where we are. You have 10,000 naira in your hand right now. Before 10 o'clock this morning, it's all over. You won't even know what you have done with it. I'm not saying that there should be no policy. Every policy of government must come with a human face. There is nothing you do in life. You do it gradually because we are not leading goats. They are human beings. I am in support of first subsidy removal, but it must be gradual. Kule, it must be if a mother wants to win a child, you don't do it by fiat. Immediately that child will die. Kule, meetings, it is people are free to meet. People are free to align and realign. You understand? There's nothing wrong with that. It's all about that's what politics is all about. But the statement that all is fair in politics is very, very tragic. Is not acceptable.
Okay,
all is not fair in politics.
Let's look at it this way. Like you have rightly said, alignments, realignments, everywhere and there. Before I ask this, let's quickly take this call. Hello, good morning. What is your name? Where are you calling us from?
Yeah, good morning, West Radio.
Good morning.
Mr.
Salami, good morning, sir.
Yes, sir. I'm calling from my water. Good morning, Mr. Kitemika.
Good morning, Mr. Salami.
My dear brother, God bless you, sir. Yes, sir. Just as I just said, Mr. Kunle, about Nigerian politicians, the opposition parties now, presidential parties as well as parties, now modeling the idea of coming back to present a single candidate. This is funny. Honestly speaking, and number one, I don't even see it working. It won't work, because they all have some contestants already. And even if it does, I don't see it making any significant impact at this time around. Why? Because the oppositions had this opportunity that Nigerians were calling for, even before they all went their different ways to grab the tickets of different parties. Now, people have already associated them with their different parties. Atiku is known for APC, APC assessment, and back in the for APM and what have you. So now come back and say, okay, we have dropped our something. We are now it won't work again. What would have worked was initially let them come together and present a single candidate, so that's what people would have known them with, rather than now they all went their different ways now to see their individual political ambitions just to be on the ballot, even when they know they don't have the strength. Just to be on the ballot, I want to be this, I want to be this. Well, I wish them good luck, but it's always good that we put our national interest first in everything we do politically, especially at this critical point in the history of this country. We need patriotism in anything we do. I don't see this in the part of some of these are so-called leading politicians in this country, and it's too dangerous for democracy. May God save us. Thank you very much. God bless you.
Thank you very much for your contribution, sir. So my question is a little bit tilted towards what Mr. Salami just said now. We know that in Nigeria, the major challenge has always been getting Nigerian opposition parties to actually come to work together. Like you have said, we know that realignment would always happen. And I think a lot of Nigerians will pray that such realignment or alignment should be to create a better Nigeria a better country for us, a better leader that will take us to where we ought to be. But like I said, we know that the challenge is always getting all of these people to come together to work. Now, we have personalities like Atiku Abubakar there. We have Peter Obi. We have Seyi Makinde also, who is saying that he wants to run for presidency. How can we get all of these people to now agree that, okay, I want to drop my ambition and support this one person? Would that be possible?
That is where the issue of national interest, which my good friend Salami just said, comes in. If there is national interest and you know that you claim to be on a rescue mission, at least there is need to support one another. You understand what I'm saying? But I remember I mentioned about ego. Everybody wants his ego to be massaged.
Yes. Let's quickly take this call. Hello, good morning. What is your name? Where are you calling us from?
Okay, my name is Elder Benjamin. I'm calling from
Yes, you have the floor, sir.
Yes, I want to greet the analysts in the house. You too.
Yes, thank you very much, sir.
I'm happy to hear that the institution they have come together. But coming together is one thing, and build service is another. You see, because they come together and present a single candidate which is acceptable to all of them. It's better. That's the only way they can challenge this administration. But they go there to drag themselves, and they should watch it because this man Tinubu is a strategy. Before you know, he penetrate them, and because they thought confusion in their midst, he made them to scatter. But if they come out with a formidable force, with one boy watch him, then that is the time they can talk of defeating Tinubu. But going one by one that it means that Tinubu is going for second time. No matter what people are saying, whether the situation is good or it's not good, though, he's going for second time. But if they come out and we have a strong force who will give Nigeria a good policy, it means we are going out of it. So thank you, and God bless you.
Thank you very much for your contribution, sir. Thank you very much. Okay, so yeah, you were talking about what's the coalition or be the interest of the people, yes. What it can be. Let's quickly take this call. Hello, good morning. What is your name? Where are you calling us from?
Good morning, Chief Kunle.
Good morning, sir. Mr. Mario.
Good morning, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, on the issue of borrowing, you see, one of the reasons why those in power, why they borrow, is that it enables them to be corrupt, because the money they borrow, some of them eventually use the money for their own purpose, for their own good. They know how to divert the money in the name of borrowing. So borrowing and corruption, they are 5 and 6, which work in pari passu. Recall that Okowa, the former governor of Delta State, in 2020 election, he was the vice president under PDP. You know what Okowa did? Okowa borrowed 150 billion naira. He borrowed 150 billion naira just to help him in succeeding in the election 2023. And the money he borrowed, then he was in government, and the money he borrowed, when they asked him what he spent the money on, he can't really lay his hand on a penny or a pin that he used the money on. That means the money comes like that, and it went away. And when he was being arrested by EFCC, you know what he did? He defected to the ruling party. Now they left him alone, and the money is there left following. And lastly, on the issue of Osun State, I think we have been seeing some footage on the social media. I don't know if Chukwuemeka saw it, where we saw a woman branded in an APC uniform, and she was given people two sachets of rice to people, and he was even mentioned the names of sponsors. And Accord as well, we saw a Accord branded food items. So we don't see EFCC or DSS trying to arrest these people. Is this that kind of democracy that our forefathers gave to us? May God help us in this country.
Thank you very much for your contribution, sir.
So, Kule, yes. Back to
wrapping up now.
Yeah, back to the coalition or alignment and realignment. It is necessary in every political outing. But is it too late in the day I don't think it's too late in the day.
So you actually think that these personalities that are involved, Atiku Abubakar, Sheyi Makinde, Peter Obi, you think they can actually come together and say, okay, you know what, I drop my ambition for you.
We cannot say that they will agree or they will not agree. They are adults. Let's wait and see if there will be a change of mind among any one of them. I cannot stay here and say, oh, it will not work. No, I won't say that. Because anything can happen.
Anything can happen.
Yes.
All right. Thank you very much for your thoughts, Mr. Chukwu Emeka Monachiso. Thank you for always. Thank you for your in-depth analysis.
Thank you for having me, Kunle.
Yes, sir.
In all of these things, may Nigeria win.
Amen. Amen. May Nigeria win. That's the greater purpose we are all fighting for. I would like to say a big thank you to everybody who has been a part of the show this morning. Remember that Perspective Unlimited takes place here on Wells Radio 89.3 FM every Mondays to Fridays between 6:30 and 7:30 a.m. Do join us again for another interesting edition of Perspective Unlimited. Until then, we will be leaving the studio now for the sport people to come do their thing. And I would like to wish you all a beautiful day and see you again tomorrow on Perspective Unlimited. Do have a blessed day.
Listen to this important information. The views expressed by the interviewee in this program are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views or opinions of Wells Radio 89.3 FM or its affiliated entities. Wells Radio 89.3 FM is committed to providing a platform for diverse perspectives and opinions, and the views expressed by guests on our programs are their personal viewpoints. Wells Radio 89.3 FM does not endorse or take responsibility for the content or opinions expressed by individual interviewees and callers. Thank you.
Is unbeatable.
You know the vibes when you tune into Wells Radio. Your preferred awesome radio. 89.3, they carry me go. I just follow, they carry me go. You know the vibes when you tune into Wells Radio. Your preferred awesome radio. 89.3, they carry me go. I just follow, they carry me go. Fill your ears with awesome news. Make it do my recover you. Dance to the rhythms and all of the blues. Things that you see on 89.3, yeah. I'm a living proof with testimony. So many blessings coming easily. Things that you get on 89.3. Tune into 89.3. You know the vibes when you tune into Wells Radio. Your preferred awesome radio. 89.3, they carry me go. I just follow, they carry me go. You know the vibes when you tune into Wells Radio. Your preferred awesome radio. 89.3, they carry me go. I just follow, they carry me go. Satisfied you on the microphone.
Wells Radio 89.3 FM. Magic.
الكثير لإسبانيول. ضاعت الكرة من جانبي إسبانيول، تمريرة خابئة صدمت في الدفاع. رونالدو، كريستيانو على اليمين، رونالدو مر، رونالدو عدى بمهارة. يا عيني يا كريستيانو، روعة 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 جميلة من رونالدو. هذا كله والكل يقول أن ليس في مستواه. هذا الهدف عدى من الأول. رونالدو مر، جميلة من رونالدو، جميلة من كريستيانو.
Ja cap a la dreta per Xavi, assistència de Xavi més cap a la dreta per Messi, Messi, immens Messi, encara 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 Messi, gol, 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 increïble, increïble, no m'ho puc...
For Selko, here's Mbappe!